So about a year ago, I was very addicted to smoking. I was smoking every day. I constantly had that cigarette craving, and I was just really under the influence of needing to smoke. And at that time, I was getting interested in all these self-improvement habits and stuff like that. And I started going to the gym every day basically, and I don't know why, I don't quite know what happened here, but something about going to the gym just completely killed my desire to smoke. It was really bizarre. I just stopped wanting to smoke anymore, and I slowly weaned myself off it very easily. It didn't take any willpower at all. I started by smoking a bit less. I'll start having just half a cigarette rather than a whole cigarette, or I'd sort of be halfway through a cigarette and I'd be like, actually I don't need this anymore, and just throw it. I guess I became more in tune with my body and how it felt to smoke, and I just stopped wanting to after a while. And it took a bit of willpower. There were a few times when I wanted to smoke, but I knew it was better for me not to, and so I didn't. But largely, it was very easy. Boom, I was able to stop quite easily. And this was I was always really happy about this, because people talked about quitting smoking as just this really horrendously difficult thing. And I got quite worried about this, because I thought when I did smoke all the time, I was thinking God, I don't know how I'm gonna quit, because I did want to quit, at some point. And so I just stopped smoking, and I just got used to saying, oh no, I don't smoke, when someone offered me a cigarette. And I'd go out party, go out for a drink, go to a party or something, and the first few times I kind of wanted a cigarette with a beer, but slowly I just stopped thinking about it so much. I was able to go and get drunk, and just my brain was able to go, no, you're not smoking. Really interesting what happened there. And in the short term, that was happy days. But then there started being a few points where I wanted, I thought, I turned down a cigarette, and I thought, maybe I should have said yes to that, actually. I can remember one time I was at this family thing, and my sister said to me, do you want to smoke? And my brother was there, my sister was there, and it was kind of a bit of a rebellious thing for us to do, to go and have a smoke. And I said, oh no, I don't smoke anymore, actually. And there was just a little bit of me that felt kind of annoyed that I didn't say yes there. And I could tell, my sister, even though she's quite impressed that I'd given up smoking, but there was a little bit of her that was a bit disappointed, And then she and my brother both had a smoke together, and I sort of sat there and I thought, there was a tinge of regret. And I didn't do anything about this. I just chalked it up to here's what it is. It's still worth not smoking because it's healthy. But I started getting more and more of these experiences where I just thought you know what? Actually, that was a good time to smoke. There was a nice occasion there where it would have been right to have a cigarette. The interesting thing about smoking, I think, is there are two aesthetics to it. There's a very negative aesthetic. There's a time when having a cigarette is just grossly inappropriate. Where it's frankly a bit disgusting. Most of the cigarettes that I was having in university, when I was a big smoker, fell into this category. It was kind of just standing outside your house or in the garden, and it's dark, and you're just having a smoke just on a Tuesday night before you go to bed. And I look back on those times fondly, but ultimately it looks a bit nissy doing that. You look a bit kind of, it's a bad look. Or that time when you're the only person who smokes and you're constantly going out for a smoke because you need one. Or this kind of stuff. There are times when smoking is it's not a good kind of scene, it's not kind of good kind of look. But then the trouble is, there are times where it's totally appropriate, if I can say that, to smoke. And generally it's like one of these kind of times where it's like, it's a fun event, you know, you're with some close friends, it's a really exciting atmosphere, and you know, you all just, oh fuck it, let's just have a smoke, you know. And much though I really like have negative thoughts about smoking and stuff like that, I've got to admit, like, those instances, actually, it is sorry, it's just a ambulance. Sorry about that. Yeah, much though I hate to admit it, there is something you're missing out on there, you know, and it's difficult to quantify how worthwhile that is, you know. You know, is it worth just missing out on that, or is it not? You know, and these things are really difficult to quantify. But yeah, I just realised more and more that it's not as simple as just like smoking is bad, you know, and you should just never do it, and there's no positive at all to smoking. You know, I realised like it's a little bit more complicated, and I realised that I was quite happy with drinking, which has just the same trouble, addictive qualities as smoking. I found just the same trouble with, you know, there's just the same distinction with drinking, you know, waking up first thing in the morning and having a beer is, you know, a bit disgusting, it's a bit horrible. But after, like, you know, imagine like you're working for some startup company and you know, you hit like, I don't know, $1 million in revenue for the first day, and you know, the first day hitting $1 million revenue or whatever it is, I don't really know. And, you know, you've had a long day's work and you want to celebrate, and the boss goes into the fridge and brings out like a nice cold, you know, lager, and he says, let's all have a beer to celebrate, guys, you know. Do you really want to be the guy there? He says like, oh, sorry, I don't drink, you know. It's a bit like, I'm less willing to say no in that situation, but so you just get, it's difficult. There's a lot more complexity to these things than I realised. And I feel like with drinking alcohol, I've just decided like, yeah, you just gotta not get addicted to it. You just gotta have the discipline to use it in very specific circumstances where it's good, and don't use it where it's bad. And it's not obvious to me why smoking is any different. I think the real mission is to just be able to control its addictive quality. And so anyway, I went and saw my family, like my brother and sister, and some family and friends this weekend, and we were all in Norfolk, and we were having a nice time, and you know, we had a few drinks, we had a nice meal together, and then someone said, oh, should we go for a smoke? And to begin with, I thought like, oh no, I should say no here. But then just all these thoughts that I was just thinking about just kind of went around my head, and I suddenly thought, like, you know what? I'm not happy. Why not? Let's give it a try. You know, I feel like I've said no in situations like this before, and I've not really been glad that I've said no. So anyway, I was like, yeah, sure, let's have a cigarette. And we went outside, and I had this cigarette, and it was quite a surreal experience because I hadn't smoked in a long time. But a few things happened to me that I thought were quite interesting. That is why I'm making this video. The first is that I felt that a lot of I didn't really get much of a head rush from it, which I was surprised by. Like, I thought I was gonna, like, basically lose control of my legs at the first toke. But to be honest, I didn't really get much of a head rush from it. And I remember, like, the first few cigarettes I had the exact same experience where I didn't really get a buzz from it. And I think that's not a surprise, because I think that the body adapts to nicotine as like a relaxant. And like the first time you smoke it doesn't really affect you. And I wonder, like, maybe because I haven't smoked in so long, the body's just forgotten to use nicotine that way. However, I did still find that it was very enjoyable to smoke, because just the thing of having it in your hands and the sort of ritualized breathing and stuff like that, and just the kind of whole event, it made me think, you know what, there's more to the cigarette than just the addictive quality of the nicotine. And yeah, it was really interesting. And I've just concluded that I just need to find a way in life that I can use nicotine in a non-addictive way. And most people don't seem to do this. They're either smoke or they don't smoke. But what can I say? I've just got to find a way. I guess I'm not most people. One thing that I have found a lot about smoking is you can just learn to breathe in ways that give you a buzz that go far beyond what a nicotine rush gives you. You know, I've looked into a lot of breathing techniques I've talked about in other videos. Like one thing you can do if you're just stressed out, I did a video about this recently, but I'll just do it again. One thing you can do if you're stressed out and you kind of want a cigarette, one thing you can do is just breathe in like really quite shallowly into your chest through your mouth, and just do a lot of those like that. And it only really works when you're stressed out, but that gives you like as much of a head rush as you get from a cigarette, with like none of the bad feelings. And so yeah, anyway, I just wonder, with all this stuff, you know, basically all this stuff in my catalogue now about breathing exercises and you know, ways to basically create the sense of relaxation that people use cigarettes to get, I might be able to create like a new relationship with nicotine and use it in the same way that I use alcohol or I use coffee. You know, why does nicotine have to be any different? So yeah, that is my insight in the future. I mean, we'll see how it goes. I'll keep you guys updated. I do think quitting nicotine and using it effectively is a really interesting strategy. But yeah, so I'll keep you guys updated. As always, I'm doing some one-on-one coaching at the moment. If you're interested, if you want to get involved, would love to hear from you. So just book a free link. It's all below. Book a free call. It's all below in the link. And yeah, we'll see you in the next one.